Hey, how's it going, everybody? Coach Kyle here, and I've been self-isolated for about 16 days now, except for the occasional trip to the grocery store. So, um, please let me know how it's going out there. What's something that you and your family have done to help with the self-isolation a little bit? Um, on Sunday, my wife and some family members we all drove through the Black Hills National Forest for a couple hours. Hey, Chris. And so we drove in separate vehicles through the Black Hills National Forest for a couple hours, enjoying the views. We saw Mount Rushmore, some bighorn sheep, and it was nice to just kind of get out and enjoy the hills, the forest. We've been going on extra walks with Banjo, and he's been loving that. So we're staying active, and today I want to talk with you guys about something that I chatted with a couple of my clients recently this last week, and that was running and the immune system. One of my athletes is an older runner in Canada whose long runs cover 15, almost 20K. And the other is a lady who I've worked with over the last year towards her first marathon. And she may or may not be assisting with local healthcare professionals if needed, as she has experience in the medical field. And with both of these people, it was brought up through different circumstances, but perhaps extraordinarily, they have a little extraordinary need to preserve or enhance their immune system due to age or work scenario. Oh, good coffee. So then in these conversations, there are two aspects that came up, and one was long runs, and the other was consistency and frequency. Both inquired about shortening their long runs, and the lady asked about the effects of running on the immune system. And these are really valid questions to ponder in general, but also especially in times like these. And there was recently a really great article from Alex Hutchinson in the Globe and Mail, which is, I think, the Canadian national publication. And it described how both of these things, these training factors, length and consistency, how they may or may not impact the immune system. And something that we've all probably thought of before is how long duration runs, especially marathons, may impact our immune system. It's a kind of a long-held belief that marathons, slightly compromise your immune system. Your immune system's compromised after very long or hard sessions. Potentially because this exercise uses protein as a fuel source. You're always using a little bit of protein, and protein makes up your immune system. But the running also uses fuel stores that your immune cells use as well. More recent research that's coming out related to this show that it might be more related to the fact that at a marathon you're in a crowd of 10 to 30,000 people. It's not so much that you just ran a marathon. One researcher is quoted as saying something along the lines of that you just got the infection after an event. It's probably due to simply being at a mass participation event where there's tons of people, there's stuff, there's food, face touching, and everything else. In regards to that, I would like to see there's more research coming out, but I would like to see research comparing small marathons to large marathons and the illness afterwards. So take that for what it's worth. Long runs, races, may or may not negatively impact your immune system. There's research going both ways. On the subject of your running frequency or the density of your workouts over a week or over a month, the big thing to keep in mind is for the immune system is that it's kind of the same for injuries. Avoid doing too much too soon. If you have habitually been running 50 miles a week, then 50 miles a week is probably fine for your immune system. But if you've been doing 20 miles a week, and you suddenly have more time on your hands for 40 miles a week, you might be sacrificing a little bit of immunity until your body adapts to this new training load. Also, keep in mind that in a month from now, if you're able to start running more than you are now, don't jump right back into what you've been doing. Doing that is just going to potentially increase your risk of illness or injury. So gradual progression, but what you've been doing is probably okay. One study mentioned in Alex Hutchinson's article mentioned, let's see, it compared the effects of 2 hours of low intensity running with 30 minutes of high intensity running. And the researchers found that the longer session did disrupt the immune response a little bit more than the shorter one. So for most of my athletes during this period, we're generally maxing out at about 2 hours for the long runs. It's still a pretty good workout, and 2 hours is still a nice run. And in reality, if you do this once a week, your immune system is probably going to be okay, just fine. If you run 30 to 60 minutes daily, potentially, the occasional longer run, you're getting enough calories in from whole food plant-based sources, you're probably going to be at the top notch for what your immune system is capable of. So keep just making good choices, good training habits, good nutrition habits, mindfulness, meditation, gratitude practice for your mental health, and doing all this will potentially, hopefully, keep your immune system top notch. So questions, comments, experiences, please drop them below. Love to hear it. And as always, you keep running, I'll keep coaching. Have a good rest of the day.